the Six Nations squad is going to be announced. Keep it on Dragon, because as soon as it gets announced, I'll be reacting to it. But with that in mind, I wanted to just look at a few names that might make into the squad that are uncapped at the moment. And there's a couple of young guys in here, and I've got one little wild card at the end for you guys. So the first one I'm going to talk about, not really a hot take, is Louie Hennessey. He was in the squad in the autumn, so kind of an obvious that he would come back in. He has played more for Bath this season. The problem has been we haven't really been able to call him into the squad or him be a viable option, because he's just been playing in the Prem Cup, but he's getting minutes in the Premiership and he's played in the Challenge Cup a little bit. It's a point I'm constantly making on this channel, on my channel, that we're not seeming to produce outside centres at the moment. There's no real guy who's standing there and putting his hand up. I think in the future Hennessey could be. He is still only 21, and it feels like he's been around for a while now, but he is still only 21, so loads of time to develop. But he's got a big frame, he's got an eye for the try line, he's very good at defending in their outside centre channel, and he's got a bit of versatility, can play 12, can play on the wing if necessary. But I think get him in the squad, get him in the environment again. I don't think he'll make a match day squad, but I wouldn't be adverse to seeing him put on the bench to get a bit of the experience, get that taste of international level, so he can see what it's going to take to get to that next level. And we need to start maybe trying to groom him and push him through now to be an option for that 13, because in the future, if he can get consistent game time, if he was playing at a Welsh region, for example, I think he'd be in the conversation to be definitely in that match day squad for Wales. And then moving back to Wales, we're looking at the Dragons, we're looking at Shea Hope. Shea Hope's an exciting prospect, 23 now, so he's coming into a bit of maturity from the young player with promise that we've heard about for a long time. Played for the under-20s, played really well for Newport. Last year I had a couple of games for the Dragons, and it was very tough last year for the Dragons. But this year, the step up he's made has been absolutely huge. And you'd probably say he's Dragons' first choice scrum half now, really superseded Rodri and the other guys, two options that are in there. And you see the difference when he's in the team and when he's not. Speeds things up, adds a real energy. Got his way to the try line as well a couple of times. So there's promise there, and it's been a while since we've had a young scrum half come through that they can kind of build for a while. We don't need to necessarily play him, but get a bit of I don't want to call him a project player because he's got a lot of potential, but get him in the squad, get him around players like Thomas Williams, and make this like a real learning time for him, because he's got potential in a year or two. If he carries on playing for the Dragons the way he is, he's going to be competing for those match day squads for Wales, no doubt. Then my last young guy on the list is Tom Bowen. Obviously everyone was expecting him to be in this. I think he's got a really good shot at getting called up into the squad. Months prior, even weeks prior, I've been saying I still think it's too early, I still think we need to just let him develop, but he is just so electric. He scores constantly, 7 tries in 8 games this season, and you cannot deny that. Yes, he's a little on the small side, and the international game revolves so much around kicking that kind of really puts a dent in his prospect, but they've got to get him in because he is electric. Wales haven't got players that can create something out of nothing other than maybe Rhys-Ammit. But Bowen is that player. If he gets space, even when he doesn't have space, to be fair, he has got a massive future ahead of him. He is electric, and he needs to be in the squad. Then my final one is kind of outside the box a little bit, but if I was naming the squad, I think I would have him in my squad. And that is Levi Douglas from the Dragons. People might be like, what are you on about? But just hear me out. Yes, he might be 30. He is English, but he qualifies through his grandfather, who I believe was from Port Talbot. He's been around the block a little bit, played in England, played a lot in France, but what he is a unit. He is a big man, 6'5", 20 stone, and he throws it around as well, and that's what I really like about him. He is a factor in defence with big shots, and more importantly, from a Welsh point of view, something we miss from the second row, he's a factor in the carrying as well. And people might say, well, he doesn't really even start for the Dragons, he comes off the bench. Yes, that's fine. I'm not asking him to start. I think he'd be brilliant to come off the bench. He is a real impact player, and it's kind of like you bring like a carry off the bench when there's like 20 minutes left in a game, and then all of a sudden they've got to tackle this big giant man coming down their channel when they're knackered. And I think he can make a real impact. We don't create athletes like him in Wales, and we don't have second rows who can bash it over the gain line and just cause havoc with their carrying. And I think he is well worth a little look into the squad. Bring him in, see what he's like when he trains with the boys, and see if he's up to the standard. But I think he is a viable option to be a massive impact off the bench. That is my hot take. Let me know what you think.